The ghost returns to London. 5 years. 5 long years since Isabella Merchant fled London in disgrace. Now she stands at her hotel window, watching the city that destroyed her family. But she's not the broken girl who left. She's transformed. Wealthy. Powerful. And ready for revenge. The morning sun rises over London's rooftops. Isabella touches the cold glass with gloved fingers. Her reflection shows a beautiful woman in an emerald silk dress. Dark hair styled perfectly. Eyes that once cried rivers now burn with purpose. Nobody would recognize the poor merchant's daughter in this elegant lady. Lady Sinclair, her maid calls softly. Your carriage is ready for the modiste appointment. Lady Sinclair. Her new identity. Built carefully over 5 years in Scotland. She inherited a fortune from a distant aunt. That's what society believes. The truth? Isabella worked tirelessly. She used her father's business knowledge. She invested wisely. She built her wealth from nothing. All for this moment. Isabella remembers her father's face. Richard Merchant was a good man. An honest shipping merchant who trusted the wrong people. She remembers how he looked when the debt collectors came. How his hands shook when he signed away everything. How he coughed blood in their tiny room while her mother wept. It's Blackstone, her father whispered before he died. Edward Blackstone. I trusted him. He destroyed us. Those were his final words. Isabella held his cold hand. She watched life leave his eyes. Her mother followed 6 months later. Died from a broken heart. Died from shame. Died because London society turned their backs on them. All because of Viscount Edward Blackstone. #the Masquerade Ball. The Pemberton Masquerade is the season's most anticipated event. Isabella arrives in a midnight blue gown. Her mask is silver lace dotted with sapphires. She looks like a mysterious princess from a fairy tale. Perfect. She wants to be memorable. She wants him to notice her. The ballroom sparkles with 1,000 candles. Ladies in silk and gentlemen in velvet dance beneath crystal chandeliers. Champagne flows. Laughter echoes. This is the world that rejected her family. Tonight, she walks among them as an equal. Lady Sinclair, Lord Pemberton bows deeply. We're honored by your presence. London has been curious about you since your arrival. The honor is mine, Lord Pemberton, Isabella says. Her Scottish accent is perfect. She practiced for years. Your ball is magnificent. She scans the room. Her heart pounds. Then she sees him. Edward Blackstone stands near the terrace doors. Tall. Broad-shouldered. Dark hair touched with silver at the temples. He's more handsome than she remembered. That makes her angrier. Monsters shouldn't look like heroes. He's alone. Watching the dancers with sad eyes. Why does he look sad? He has everything. Title. Wealth. Respect. He took everything from her family and lost nothing. Isabella's hands clench. But she smooths her expression. Revenge requires patience. Requires control. She positions herself near the refreshment table. She knows he'll see her. Men always notice beautiful women. Especially mysterious ones. #the dance of deception. Forgive my boldness. A deep voice says behind her. But I cannot let this evening pass without discovering who you are. Isabella turns slowly. Edward Blackstone stands before her. His gray eyes study her face. Recognition flickers there? No. Impossible. She's changed too much. Become someone new. I'm Lady Sinclair, she says softly. Recently arrived from Scotland. Edward Blackstone. He bows. Viscount of Ashmore. Though titles feel heavy tonight. May I simply be Edward? And might you grace me with your name? His voice is warm. Genuine. This surprises her. She expected arrogance. Cruelty. The coldness of a man who ruins families without remorse. You may call me Isabella, she says. Using her real name is dangerous, but also fitting. He destroyed Isabella Merchant. He won't recognize her as Lady Sinclair. Isabella. He says her name like a prayer. A beautiful name. Would you honor me with a dance? She wants to refuse. Wants to throw his crimes in his face. But revenge requires strategy. Requires getting close to him. I would be delighted, Edward. His hand takes hers. She feels warmth through their gloves. They walk to the dance floor. The orchestra begins a waltz. 1 2 3 1 2 3. They move together perfectly. You dance beautifully, Edward says quietly. As do you, Isabella replies. You seem practiced. I've attended many balls, danced with many ladies. His eyes meet hers. But never has a dance felt like this. What does he mean? Isabella's breath catches. This is dangerous. She came here to destroy him, not to feel. Whatever this is, this warmth, this connection. Focus, she tells herself. Remember why you're here. Tell me about yourself, Edward, she says. What occupies a viscount's time? Sadness crosses his face. Business mostly. I manage several enterprises, though lately I find little joy in it. Why is that? 5 years ago, something terrible happened. A mistake I made destroyed innocent people. I've tried to make amends, but... He trails off. Forgive me. You don't want to hear about past regrets at a ball. Isabella's heart races. Is he talking about her family? Does he feel guilty? Impossible. Guilty men don't sleep peacefully. Don't live in mansions. Don't prosper while their victims suffer. This must be manipulation. An act to seem sympathetic. Everyone has regrets, Isabella says carefully. Perhaps making amends is still possible. I pray it is. His eyes hold genuine pain. I've searched for the family I wronged. Wanted to help them. But they vanished. Like ghosts. Isabella almost stumbles. He searched for them? For her family? Why? To finish destroying them? Or, no. She won't let doubt creep in. Her father's dying words were clear. Blackstone destroyed them. ## seeds of destruction. The dance ends. Edward leads Isabella to the terrace. Cool night air touches her flushed cheeks. London spreads below them, gas lamps twinkling like fallen stars. Thank you for the dance, Edward says. And for listening. I rarely speak of such things. Why did you tell me? Isabella asks. Because looking at you I feel I can trust you. Foolish perhaps. We've just met. But some souls recognize each other instantly. Isabella's carefully built walls crack slightly. This man speaks with such honesty. Such vulnerability. This isn't what she expected. Remember, she tells herself. Liars are often charming. Villains often seem kind. I find you fascinating, Edward, she says truthfully, though her reasons aren't what he thinks. Might I call on you? He asks hopefully. Perhaps tea tomorrow at Claridge's? I would enjoy that. He smiles. A real smile that reaches his eyes. Until tomorrow then, Isabella. She watches him walk away. Her heart battles her mind. The heart whispers that maybe, just maybe, she's wrong about him. The mind screams that she cannot falter. Cannot forget why she's here. Isabella returns to her hotel. Her maid helps remove the elaborate gown. Isabella stares at herself in the mirror. Behind her reflection, she sees the ghost of who she was. Poor Isabella, merchant in a patched dress. Watching her father die. Holding her mother's cold hand. She opens a locked box. Inside lies a letter. Yellowed with age. Creased from constant reading. Her father's handwriting. My dearest Isabella, if you read this, I am gone. Know that I love you. Know that I tried my best. Know that Edward Blackstone betrayed our business partnership. He sabotaged our contracts. He spread lies about our creditworthiness. He destroyed us deliberately. I don't know why. I thought him a friend. I was wrong. Beware of him, my daughter. Beware of all the Blackstones. Isabella folds the letter carefully, places it back in the box. This is her proof. Her father's final testimony. Why would he lie in his last letter? But Edward's words echo in her mind. I've searched for the family I wronged. Wanted to help them. Which truth is real? Tomorrow she'll begin uncovering the answer. She'll get close to Edward Blackstone. She'll learn his secrets. She'll discover if he's truly guilty or if something darker hides beneath the surface. Either way, she will have justice. For her father. For her mother. For the girl she used to be. Isabella blows out the candle. Darkness fills the room. But in her heart, A small flame of doubt flickers. What if everything she believes is wrong? What if revenge is destroying the wrong man? ##. The next morning, Isabella wakes to London church bells. She dresses carefully for tea with Edward. A rose-colored day dress. Simple but elegant. She must continue playing Lady Sinclair, the mysterious, wealthy widow who's captured the Viscount's attention. Her maid arranges her hair. "You look beautiful, my lady." "Thank you, Mary." Isabella studies her reflection. She does look beautiful. But beauty is just another weapon. Another tool for revenge. The carriage takes her to Claridge's. Edward waits in the tea room. He stands when she enters. His smile is genuine. Warm. He pulls out her chair like she's precious. "Isabella," he says softly, "you're even lovelier in daylight." They order tea and small cakes. Conversation flows easily. Too easily. Edward tells stories that make her laugh. Asks questions that make her think. He's intelligent. Witty. Kind. This is harder than she expected. "Tell me," Edward says suddenly, "what brought you to London? Scotland is lovely. Why leave?" Isabella prepared this answer. "I wanted a fresh start. New experiences. Perhaps find." She pauses deliberately. "Find what?" Edward leans forward. "Someone who understands me." The words are part of her act, but they feel strangely true. Edward's hand covers hers on the table. "I think I understand you more than you know, Isabella." Their eyes meet. Hold. Something electric passes between them. Something dangerous. Isabella pulls her hand away gently. "Edward, about what you mentioned last night. The family you wronged. Tell me more." His face darkens. "It's a painful story. I want to hear it." He's quiet for a long moment. Then he begins speaking. And what he says will change everything Isabella believes. #Part 2 Cracks in the armor. ##. The confession begins. Edward stares at his teacup. His hands tremble slightly. Isabella watches him carefully. She's seen grief before. Real grief. The kind that lives in your bones. The kind she carried when her parents died. 5 years ago, Edward says quietly, I partnered with a man named Lord Ashford. Marcus Ashford. We invested in various businesses. Shipping contracts mostly. Isabella's blood runs cold. Shipping contracts. Her father's business. One contract involved a merchant named Richard Merchant. Good man. Honest. He had a small shipping company. We were supposed to help him expand. Instead, Edward's voice breaks. Instead what? Isabella whispers. Instead, everything went wrong. Contracts were sabotaged. Shipments went missing. Merchant's creditworthiness was destroyed by false rumors. Within months he was ruined. Bankrupt. His family disappeared. I heard he died in poverty. Edward looks up. Tears shine in his eyes. I only discovered later that Ashford had orchestrated everything. He forged my signatures. Used my name. Made it appear I was behind the destruction. By the time I learned the truth, Merchant was dead. His family was gone. Isabella can barely breathe. This doesn't match her father's letter. Doesn't match what she believed for 5 years. Why would Ashford do such a thing? She manages to ask. Merchant's shipping routes were valuable. Ashford wanted them for himself. He needed Merchant ruin to acquire them cheaply. And he used me as the villain. Edward's fist clenches. I've spent 5 years trying to find Merchant's family. Trying to make amends. But they vanished completely. Isabella's world spins. Could this be true? Was her father wrong? Or is Edward lying now? What about proof? She asks. How do you know Ashford was responsible? I have documents. Letters. Evidence I gathered after discovering his treachery. Would you like to see them? Yes. God, yes. She needs to see proof. Needs to know the truth. I would, Isabella says carefully. ## Blackstone Manor. 3 days later, Isabella visits Blackstone Manor. The estate is magnificent. Rolling grounds. Ancient oak trees. A house that speaks of generations of wealth and power. But what surprises Isabella most is what she sees inside. Edward's study is filled with papers. Documents. Letters. all relating to business dealings. But not just any business. He's tracking merchant families who fell into hardship. What is all this? Isabella asks. After Merchant's death, I started researching other ruined merchants. I discovered Ashford had destroyed dozens of families. Used my name repeatedly. I couldn't save them all, but... He pulls out a ledger. I've been helping them quietly. Paying debts. Funding new ventures. Trying to repair the damage. Isabella's hands shake as she flips through the ledger. Name after name. Family after family. All receiving anonymous help from Edward Blackstone. Why anonymously? She asks. Because it's not about gratitude. It's about justice. About trying to balance scales I didn't know Ashford was tipping. He leads her to a locked cabinet. Opens it carefully. Inside are letters. Dozens of them. These are Ashford's letters. The ones I found that prove his deception. Isabella reads them. Her heart sinks with each word. Letters where Ashford brags about manipulating situations. Letters where he forges Edward's signature. Letters where he laughs about destroying foolish merchants. One letter makes her blood freeze. The merchant fool believed everything. Used Blackstone's name perfectly. By the time anyone discovers the truth, Merchant will be dead and Blackstone will be blamed. Perfect plan. Isabella's knees buckle. Edward catches her immediately. Are you well? He asks concerned. I need air. ## the garden walk. They walk through Edward's garden. Roses bloom despite the autumn chill. Isabella's mind races. Everything she believed was wrong. Her father was deceived. The letter he wrote was based on lies he believed. Lies Ashford planted. Isabella. Edward's voice is gentle. You seem distressed by these documents. Do you know someone affected by Ashford's schemes? This is her moment. She could tell him the truth. Reveal who she really is. Confess everything. But fear holds her tongue. What if this is an elaborate trick? What if Edward is playing a deeper game? I've known people destroyed by powerful men, she says instead. It's painful to see such cruelty. They sit on a marble bench. A fountain trickles nearby. The garden is peaceful. Beautiful. Isabella imagines her mother would have loved it. Tell me about your family, Edward says suddenly. They're gone, Isabella answers honestly. Dead. I'm alone in the world. I'm sorry. He takes her hand. I understand loneliness. I've felt it deeply since learning of my unwitting role in destroying innocent people. You're not responsible for Ashford's actions, Isabella says. The words surprise her. She's defending him. The man she came to destroy. Aren't I? He used my name. My reputation. I should have been more careful. More vigilant. You were betrayed by someone you trusted. That's not your fault. Edward looks at her with such gratitude. Such vulnerability. Thank you for saying that. Though I'm not sure I believe it yet. They sit in comfortable silence. Isabella's heart wars with her mind. She's falling for him. Actually falling for Edward Blackstone. The man she was supposed to hate. The man who's nothing like the monster she imagined. ## the sister's revelation. A young woman appears on the garden path. She's beautiful. Blonde curls and bright eyes. She wears a simple day dress and carries a basket of cut flowers. Edward, she calls. You didn't tell me we had a guest. Isabella, this is my sister Caroline. Edward smiles. Caroline, Lady Sinclair. Caroline curtsies. How lovely to meet you. Edward speaks of nothing but the mysterious Lady Sinclair these days. Caroline, Edward says, embarrassed. But Caroline laughs. It's true. He's positively smitten. I haven't seen him this happy in 5 years. 5 years? Isabella asks carefully. Caroline's smile fades. Yes. Since the terrible business with that merchant family. Edward blamed himself terribly. He was never the same after. Caroline, please, Edward says quietly. But Caroline continues. He stopped attending balls. Stopped socializing. Just buried himself in trying to help other merchants. Trying to find that poor merchant family to make amends. He hired investigators. Followed every lead. Nothing worked. Isabella's eyes fill with tears. She tries to hide them, but Caroline notices. "Oh, I've upset you with sad stories. Forgive me." "No," Isabella says. "I'm just moved by your brother's goodness." Caroline beams. "He is good. The best man I know. And he deserves happiness. I think you might be that happiness, Lady Sinclair." After Caroline leaves, Edward apologizes. "My sister is enthusiastic. She loves you," Isabella says. "That's beautiful. I love her too. She's all the family I have left. Our parents died when I was 21. Suddenly I was a viscount, responsible for everything. I tried my best, but..." He sighs. "I made mistakes. Trusted the wrong people." "We all make mistakes," Isabella says softly. "Do we all destroy innocent families with our mistakes? Ashford destroyed them. Not you." Edward looks at her with such hope. "Do you truly believe that?" Isabella realizes she does. She believes him. The evidence is overwhelming. The letters. The ledgers. Caroline's words. Edward's obvious pain and guilt. Her father was wrong. Not intentionally. He died believing Ashford's lies. Believing Edward was the enemy. But the real enemy was always Ashford. Which means Isabella's revenge quest is aimed at the wrong man. #the moment of truth. That evening, Isabella returns to her hotel. She locks her door. Opens the box containing her father's letter. Reads it again with new eyes. Her father wrote what he believed. But he believed lies. Clever lies planted by Marcus Ashford. Isabella should feel relieved. The man she's falling for isn't a monster. He's a victim too. Another person Ashford destroyed. But she feels something else. Guilt. Terrible, crushing guilt. She came to London to destroy Edward. She wore disguises. Told lies. Manipulated him. And all for nothing. All based on false information. Now what does she do? Tell him the truth? Confess that she's Isabella Merchant, daughter of the man he tried to save? Admit she came here for revenge but found something else instead? He'll be devastated. Betrayed. He'll never forgive her deception. But hiding the truth means building a relationship on lies. Can love survive without honesty? Isabella paces her room. Her heart battles her mind. Finally, she makes a decision. Tomorrow she'll tell him everything. She'll risk his anger. His rejection. Because Edward Blackstone deserves the truth. He's given her nothing but honesty. She owes him the same. But before she can act on this decision, a letter arrives. Delivered by a mysterious messenger late at night. Isabella opens it with shaking hands. The handwriting is unfamiliar. The message makes her blood run cold. Dear Miss Merchant. Yes, I know who you really are. How clever you've been. But not clever enough. I know about your little revenge plan against poor Edward. I know you're falling for him. Such a delicious twist. Meet me tomorrow night at midnight. The old warehouse by the docks. Come alone. Or I'll tell Edward everything myself. And I'll make sure he never forgives you. Signed, a friend who knows all your secrets. Isabella's hands shake. Who sent this? Who knows her true identity? How long have they been watching? And what do they want? The blackmail. Isabella can't sleep. She stares at the ceiling, mind racing. Who knows her secret? Edward. Impossible. He would have confronted her directly. Caroline. The sweet sister seems incapable of blackmail. Then who? The answer comes with dawn's light. Marcus Ashford. The man who destroyed her family. The man who let Edward take the blame. He must have learned of her return. Must have discovered her plan. But why blackmail her? What does he want? Isabella dresses in dark clothes. Practical boots. She tells Mary she's visiting a sick friend. The lie tastes bitter. She's so tired of lying. The day drags endlessly. She receives a note from Edward inviting her to the theater. She sends regrets, claiming a headache. More lies. They pile up like stones. Finally, midnight approaches. Isabella slips from her hotel. London streets are dangerous at night, but she carries a small pistol. Her father taught her to shoot years ago. A lady should know how to protect herself, he said. Oh, Papa. If only you were here to guide me now. The warehouse looms dark and forbidding. Broken windows stare like empty eyes. Isabella's heart pounds as she pushes open the creaking door. Right on time. A voice says from the shadows. I appreciate punctuality. A match flares. Lights a lamp. And Isabella sees her blackmailer. It's not Marcus Ashford. It's a woman. Beautiful. Elegant. Wearing expensive clothes and a cruel smile. Who are you? Isabella demands. Lady Victoria Ashford, the woman says. Marcus's widow. And I know everything, my dear. Everything about you. Everything about your pathetic little revenge plan. Everything about how you're falling in love with the man you meant to destroy. Isabella's blood runs cold. Ashford's widow. This is worse than she imagined. What do you want? Victoria laughs. Cold as winter ice. I want you to finish what you started. Destroy Edward Blackstone. Why? Your husband was the villain. Edward is innocent. Innocent. Victoria's eyes flash. Edward ruined my life. After my husband's treachery was exposed, society shunned me. I lost everything. My reputation. My friends. All because of documents Edward revealed. Now I want revenge. And you, my dear Isabella Merchant, are going to give it to me. Isabella's mind races. I won't. Edward doesn't deserve destruction. Then I'll tell him who you really are. I'll show him proof of your revenge plan. I'll destroy any chance you have of happiness with him. Victoria steps closer. Or you can help me. Seduce him. Marry him. Then betray him publicly. Break his heart. Ruin his reputation. Give him a taste of what he did to my family. He did nothing to your family. Your husband was the criminal. My husband is dead. He can't suffer anymore. But Edward lives. Edward prospers. Edward finds happiness while I have nothing. Victoria's composure cracks. Madness glints in her eyes. Isabella realizes the truth. Victoria isn't rational. Grief and bitterness have twisted her mind. I won't help you, Isabella says firmly. Then you'll lose everything, Victoria threatens. I'll expose you. Edward will learn you're the daughter of Richard Merchant. That you came here to destroy him. That every word, every smile, every tender moment was a lie. He'll hate you. And you'll have nothing. Just like me. The words hit like physical blows. Because Victoria's right. Edward will feel betrayed. Will believe Isabella never cared. Will think everything between them was manipulation. Unless Isabella tells him the truth first. Before Victoria can poison it with lies. Do your worst, Isabella says, surprising herself with her courage. I'm going to tell Edward everything myself. The truth. All of it. And I'll let him decide if I deserve forgiveness. Victoria's face twists with rage. You stupid girl. You think honesty will save you? Men like Edward don't forgive deception. You'll lose him either way. Maybe, Isabella says. But at least I'll lose him with honor. Not with more lies. She turns to leave. Victoria's voice stops her. He's not who you think he is, Isabella. Edward has secrets too. Dark secrets. If you tell him your truth, I'll make sure he learns things that will destroy him. What secrets? Isabella turns back. Victoria smiles cruelly. Find out for yourself. Ask him about the night your father died. Ask him where he really was. Ask him why he never came forward to defend your father publicly. You might not like the answers. The seeds of doubt plant themselves. Could there be more to the story? Things even the documents don't show? Isabella leaves the warehouse. Her mind is chaos. Her heart is breaking. Tomorrow she must face Edward. Must tell him everything. But Victoria's words haunt her. What secrets is Edward hiding? And will the truth destroy them both? Hashtag Part 3. Love conquers all. Hashtag the morning after. Isabella doesn't sleep. She watches the sun rise over London, painting the sky pink and gold. Today everything changes. Today she tells Edward the truth. She dresses simply. A white morning dress that makes her look young. Vulnerable. She wants him to see the real her. Not Lady Sinclair. Not the vengeful daughter. Just Isabella. Scared. In love. Desperate for forgiveness. But before she can leave, Edward arrives at her hotel. Mary announces him nervously. "My lady, the Viscount is here." He says it's urgent. Isabella's heart stops. Does he already know? Did Victoria expose her? Edward enters her private sitting room. He looks terrible. Eyes red. Hair disheveled. Like he hasn't slept either. "Edward." Isabella stands. "What's wrong?" He holds out a letter. His hand shakes. "This was delivered to my home last night. Tell me it's not true, Isabella. Please tell me it's lies." Isabella takes the letter. Reads it. Her blood turns to ice. It's from Victoria. Detailing everything. Isabella's true identity. Her revenge plan. Every lie she's told. "Edward, Is it true?" His voice breaks. "Are you really Isabella Merchant?" She could deny it. Could claim Victoria's lying. But she came here for truth. Time for lies is over. "Yes," Isabella whispers. "I'm Richard Merchant's daughter." Edward staggers back like she struck him. "You've been alive this whole time. You've been in London. And you never revealed yourself." "I came here for revenge," Isabella says, tears streaming down her face. "I thought you destroyed my family. My father's letter said." He believed Ashford's lies. Edward's voice is hollow. "Just like I feared. Just like the reason I searched for you desperately. To tell you the truth. I know the truth now," Isabella says. "I know you're innocent. I know Ashford was the villain. I know everything." "Do you?" Edward laughs bitterly. "Do you know how it felt to finally meet you? To fall in love with you? To think I'd found someone who understood me? Only to discover it was all lies. All manipulation. Not all of it." Isabella steps toward him. "My feelings are real. I fell in love with you, Edward. Truly deeply in love. How can I believe that?" He backs away. "How can I believe anything you say? Every word, every smile could be part of your revenge. I gave up on revenge." Isabella cries. "The moment I learned the truth, I decided to tell you everything. I was coming to see you today. To confess. To beg forgiveness." "Convenient timing," Edward says coldly. "Right after Victoria exposed you. I didn't know Victoria would send that letter. I swear it." "Your swears mean nothing." Edward's eyes are dead. Empty. "You're a liar, Isabella. An actress who played a role brilliantly. Congratulations. You destroyed me more completely than any business failure could." "Please." Isabella reaches for him. He pulls away from her touch. Don't touch me. Don't speak to me. Don't ever come near me again." He walks toward the door. Isabella's world collapses. "Edward, wait. There's more. Victoria wants me to keep lying to you. To marry you and betray you publicly. She's seeking revenge for her husband's disgrace." Edward pauses. Doesn't turn around. "She said you have secrets too," Isabella continues desperately. "About the night my father died. About why you never defended him publicly. What did she mean?" For a long moment Edward is silent. When he speaks, his voice is barely audible. "You want more truths, Isabella? Fine. I'll give you truth. I was there the night your father died." Isabella's breath catches. "What?" "I found out about Ashford's deception. I went to Fleet Prison to tell your father everything. To offer help. To get him released." Edward's shoulders slump. "I arrived too late. He was already dying. I held his hand. I promised him I'd find you and your mother. Tell you the truth. He made me swear not to reveal my presence that night." "Why?" Isabella whispers. "Because he was ashamed. He didn't want you to know he died in prison. Didn't want my help to seem like charity. Your father's pride was both his greatest strength and his fatal flaw." Edward's voice breaks. "He made me promise to let him die alone. To never tell anyone I was there. And I kept that promise. Even though it meant looking like I didn't care." Isabella sinks into a chair. Her father knew? In his final moments he knew Edward was innocent? Then the letter he left me. She begins. Was written before I arrived. Before he learned the truth. Edward finally turns. His face is wet with tears. "He died knowing I was innocent, Isabella. He died asking me to take care of you and your mother. And I failed him. I couldn't find you. I let your mother die alone. I failed the one promise that mattered. The room spins. Everything Isabella believed is shattered. Her father knew. Her father forgave Edward. Her father wanted Edward to help them. And she came here to destroy the man her father trusted in his final moments. Oh God, Isabella sobs. What have I done? ## the revelation. Edward walks to the window, stares out at London. When he speaks, his voice is mechanical, emotionless. Your father told me something else before he died. He said, tell Isabella the truth is always worth fighting for, even when it hurts. I've held on to those words for 5 years. They guided every decision I made, every merchant family I helped, every investigation into Ashford's crimes. Isabella can barely breathe through her tears. Edward, please. I'm so sorry. I didn't know. You thought I was a monster. I understand. Ashford was brilliant at manipulation. He deceived your father. He deceived me. He deceived everyone. Edward's hands clench on the windowsill. But you had